What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of the Red Brand, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including a WWE Hall of Famer passes away, bad news for a WWE superstar as he's sidelined for 6 to 9 months, a wrestler has been hospitalized, WWE Block AEW, Shelton Benjamin AEW bound, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. Now, as always, we won't recap the show, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good is number 1, a true clash of titans, Strowman vs Reed. Last night's last monster standing match was a true clash of titans as Braun Strowman played King Kong to Bronson Reed's Godzilla, with both monsters destroying everything in sight, including the ring. The Braun Bronson series has been incredibly well worked as it's given Strowman a chance to battle someone just as strong, it's given Bronson Reed the career boost he needed after months of idling on the sidelines, and it set things up for Seth Rollins' huge return. As number 2, a righteous return. As Seth Rollins is back, and in true Seth Rollins fashion, he made a statement by curb stomping Bronson Reed on the steel steps and giving Braun the win and getting some revenge for Reed knocking him out of action. The visuals for Rollins' return couldn't have been better, and it was a perfect way to end Monday Night Raw. Number 3, another fiery promo. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk's latest promo was everything fans have come to enjoy from their work together: passion, sincerity, and utter contempt for each other. This program has accomplished so much through promos, and last night was no exception. Both men have beat each other senseless in and out of the ring, so last night's promo was the best way to send them off into Saturday's match. Or should we say Saturday's hellhole. Number 4, Miz turn AW for Cross. The Miz's heel turn on R-Truth could be a big win for both The Miz and Karrion Kross. For whatever reason, the WWE can't book Miz successfully as a babyface, which made the turn necessary. As for Kross, he spent most of his second run on the main roster trying to corrupt wrestlers with a 0 success rate. Given Miz's turn and what looks like Xavier Woods' turn, Kross's fortunes may finally improve. Number 5, Sami's psychological warfare. Fans got to see an aspect of Sami Zayn they haven't seen in some time, the manipulative mastermind who knows how to get into his opponent's heads. Sami Zayn found the right button to press with Gunther, goading the World Heavyweight Champion into giving him a title shot by reminding Gunther how he disappeared from TV after dropping the IC Championship to Zayn and never asking for a rematch. Sami made things personal when he told the ring general that he let down his father in losing to Zayn, and that now he was proving that he was also a coward in refusing to wrestle Sami. Gunther attacked Sami and then agreed to a title shot. Booking the match for next week is a smart way to keep fans tuned in after Bad Blood. Number 6, Bron Breakker face turn. Is a rumored Bron Breakker face turn actually happening? Last night's segment where Bron shook newly crowned Intercontinental Champion Jey Uso's hand suggests Breakker has become humbler after trash talking Jey and coming up short. It's unknown what's next for Bron, but a face turn creates plenty of possible matchups, including Bron vs Bronson Reed, Gunther, and more. Number 7, a good opening for Raw. Jey Uso's victory celebration was a strong start to Raw as it gave the fans the chance to celebrate his title win from last week and, as mentioned, move Bron Breakker into a new direction. This segment was fun but didn't drag, giving fans a pause before the WWE unloaded with a strong show. And also kudos to the WWE for actually making that slight modification to the Intercontinental Championship, just putting in a hint of blue. Now, some of you have seen our Twitter page where we actually did put this suggestion out, and maybe Triple H was looking. All I know is that we're taking credit for it. Number 8, solid matches as always. As always, the WWE delivered one solid match after another. Whether it was tag team matches or singles matches, fans got to see why WWE is spilling over with talent. The angles or storylines may not always click, but it's rare that fans see anything less than an above average match. And Xavier turn continues. Now, major props to Xavier Woods for taking his apparent heel turn and running with it. The WWE dropped the ball when Xavier won the King of the Ring, failing to work on his singles push. This new storyline could be his redemption story, as Woods is showing a knack at playing a disgruntled babyface who has legitimate reasons for his change of attitude. But that was the good. What about the bad? Is number 1, LWO is useless. Now, we hate to be a dead horse, but why is the Latino World Order still around? Every wrestler in the group is talented, but spinning their wheels as their only role seems to be putting other opponents over. Given the WWE's focus on more realistic storylines, there's no reason that this group would want to stick together, as they were better off in Legado del Fantasma. And number 2, Katana Chance and Caden Carter, another missed opportunity. But speaking of underutilized talents, it seems creative remember that Katana Chance and Caden Carter are still under contract. While Chance and Carter fans were likely happy to see them, the former WWE Women's Tag Team Champions have been so devalued through constant losses that fans have no reason to feel anything will change if they step into the ring. But at least it was no downright ugly, as the WWE dished out 3 hours of non-stop excitement, but the question is, how will they do when it switches to 2 hours? What would you guys think of Raw last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now first story looks at bad news for a WWE superstar as he's sidelined for 6 to 9 months. The top of today's news is a serious setback for rising superstar Ilya Dragunov as the WWE announced on Raw that Dragunov suffered an ACL tear. Consequently, the former NXT and NXT UK champion will be out of action for 6 to 9 months. According to Wrestling Inc., Dragunov was injured wrestling Gunther for a shot at the championship during a live event in Columbus, Georgia over the weekend. Injuries are never good news, but it's particularly bad for Dragunov as fans have rallied behind him ever since he was drafted to Raw in 2024. While he hasn't been a featured player on Raw, his work at live events has received plenty of praise from fans, including his series against Gunther. Gunther played up his callous character when he tweeted about his injury. Weak things break. And we send our best to Ilya for a speedy recovery. Next up, has the classic cage returned? The WWE Universe is rejoicing after they unveiled the Hell in a Cell it will use for Saturday's Bad Blood, but the always ever popular fadeaway media tweeted footage of the cage along with this message. Triple H brought back the Hell in a Cell from the early 2000s era. Pro wrestling is back. Wait a minute, is this his tweet? Where's the usual laughing my ass off that he seems to put in every tweet? Anyway, while some fans are uncertain whether this cage differs from the cage used for WrestleMania 39's Edge vs Balor match, it's a big improvement over the dreaded red cage that was used for many years. What the hell were they thinking there? Next up, the real reason that Bad Blood has an early start time. A Bad Blood will start at 6 PM Eastern this Saturday, a big departure from their usual 7 or 8 PM start time. The Wrestling Observer has noted that they want to end it before the UFC starts. Simple, but makes sense. Next up, sad news as a wrestler has been hospitalized. Our fans are still trying to take in a recent report that AEW star Killswitch, formerly known as Luchasaurus, was in a very bad way due to a health ailment. The good news is that the big man is doing better, but a new report suggests that things were looking grim at one point. Fightful Select is reporting that Killswitch's fiancée found him collapsed on 27 September. The report noted that he was rushed to the hospital where they found his blood oxygen below 80% and determined he had pneumonia in both lungs. It was discovered that he was days away from permanent lung damage. Killswitch has been on oxygen in the days that have followed and was told to expect a recovery of over a month. His in-ring return is unclear. Now, we will continue following this story if we hear any updates, but we send our best to Killswitch for a fast and full recovery, because that sounded incredibly scary. Next up, WWE Block AEW. It looks like WWE has put the kibosh on Bryan Danielson's attempt to get the rights to the yes, yes, yes saying he popularized in WWE. Wrestling News is reporting WWE owns the trademark for the term yes, yes, yes yet again. This is after it had lapsed and Bryan Danielson filed for it on 29th July with the USPTO. The current AEW World Heavyweight Champion spoke with Luke James Chats about what happened. Well, so I applied for it, but then it wasn't necessarily a cease and desist, I got some sort of legal letter from WWE. Listen, it's really weird because my manager texted me and said, hey, this thing is available, do you want to get it? I was like, how much does it cost? It wasn't that much. Okay, sure. Shortly after that, I got an email from WWE saying, this is infringing on this or that or whatever, and I'm like, I'm not trying to sell anybody anything, I just do my thing. There's no word on whether WWE is willing to work out a deal with Danielson to sell the rights to him or even license it to him. Next up, Shelton Benjamin AEW bound. It's time for an update on the rumors that MVP will reform a new version of the Hurt Business in AEW. Wrestling Purist has a report that suggests MVP could have an old ally alongside him in his new home, as Shelton Benjamin is AEW bound and is expected to sign there. MVP debuted in AEW at last week's Grand Slam edition of Dynamite, calling out Prince Nana for failing to properly care for his client Swerve Strickland. MVP has reportedly trademarked the name Hurt Syndicate, which could be a lawyer-friendly way of renaming the Hurt Business. While nothing has been confirmed, it's believed AEW has reached out to former superstar and Hurt Business member Bobby Lashley. Next up, sad news as a WWE Hall of Famer passes away. And last but not least, sad news for baseball fans and wrestling fans alike as Pete Rose has passed away at the age of 83. Rose was one of baseball's greatest players, with ESPN listing some of his many accolades. A 17-time All-Star, the switch-hitting Rose played on 3 World Series winners. He was the National League's MVP in '73 and World Series MVP 2 years later. He holds the Major League record for games played at 3,562 and plate appearances 15,890 and the NL record for the longest hitting streak 44. Rose caught WWE fans' attention thanks to several appearances in the company, including a spot as a guest ring announcer at WrestleMania 14. There, Rose took a tombstone piledriver from Kane after Rose insulted the fans. Although Rose was deemed ineligible for baseball's Hall of Fame, he entered the WWE Hall of Fame in 2004, becoming the first celebrity inductee. We send our condolences to Pete Rose's friends, family, and many fans. But there you have it, folks. Our look at Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.